Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is another one of my live videos because I am in the process of recording some really cool things for the book that I just wrote. My name is Ronsley, and in this episode, I will show you some really cool things that you can do with artificial intelligence, including if you're a podcaster, especially today's episode is all about podcasting and podcasting plus AI. Well, it's like a match made in heaven, isn't it? So let's get into that and let's talk about what we're going to cover in today's episode. All right. So uh, if you were not here last week, or not last week, yesterday rather, we covered some really cool things about customizing sales conversations using artificial intelligence, how to triage, how to create a cohort, and how to make something that how to sell to people that really care about what you want, what outcome you're going to deliver for them. Today, we're going to talk about a really cool tactic. It is for podcasts, how to get found more. Now, if you had to do this regularly for, your podcast every episode, it would take a lot of time, and I'll show you how long it would take, and I'll break it down. But I'm going to show you how to get found by optimizing titles, how to get your descriptions done, show notes, all with the intention of using AI to get found more. And there's a bunch of steps. We're going to research keywords, how to incorporate the keywords, how to reflect on the episode's content and make sure that that's reflected in what you're creating, how to create detailed show notes, and how to optimize for search engines. So we're going to cover that tactic today. We're also going to cover a really cool technique called RAG. And if you don't know what it is, it's retrieval augmented generation. It's an AI term that you would probably have already done it in some form or the other, but we'll talk about this technique today. In the news, we have Neuralink. I want to talk about that and break it down and show you how it's all in the mind, and super fascinating how Neuralink works and what it's able to do. AI plus a brain chip allows a paralyzed patient to be capable and play chess just by thinking, which is quite fascinating, right? I mean, the way we used to do things earlier are not going to be the same things anymore. And then I'm going to show you this really cool tool called Groq. It's fast, it's free, and I was supposed to cover this in a previous episode, but I just ran out of time. And I'll show you that first. So I'm going to cover some news first, and then I'm going to show you the tool that is like literally blowing people out of the water, especially if you're going to create something conversational in terms of AI for your business, then definitely look at Groq. But if you don't know, all these recordings are going to be edited and going to be on the podcast. So Amplify AI is the podcast. If you go search for it, you'll find it on all your favorite podcast platforms, on YouTube, Spotify. But there's a really good episode that you should check out, number 67. It's a compilation of success stories of business owners that have used artificial intelligence in their business and how they've used it. And it might give you some ideas on how you can currently use it in a way that's actually useful for your business, and it actually helps you grow grow the business or grow the brand or grow the revenue that you're trying to create. All right, let's get into some news. And today it's about Neuralink. So this is if you don't know what Neuralink is, it's like this brain chip, and it's by Elon Musk. By the way, Neuralink is an Elon Musk company. Let me just go to the actual tweet, and I want to give the Daily AI a shout out because that's how I found out about it. So what this is it's a brain chip company. It's Elon Musk brain chip company called Neuralink. It's actually showed this video of its patient being able to control a computer and play video games using only his mind. Let me play this video because I think it's important, and let me.
Yeah. I love playing chess, and so this is one of the things that y'all have enabled me to do. Something that I wasn't able to really do much the last few years, especially not like this. I had to use like a mouse stick and stuff, but now it's all being done with my brain. If y'all can see the cursor moving around the screen, that's all me, y'all. It's pretty cool, huh? One of the first times y'all gave me complete control over this, I actually stayed up until, geez, I don't know, like 6 a.m. playing Civilization 6. Um, it was it was worth it. I guess is the best way to put it. It was awesome. I had basically given up on playing that game just because of how it's just a lot, and I have to worry about a lot of things, getting pressure sores and things like that. So I just wasn't really able to play it as much as I wanted to. Yeah. I love playing.
All right. Fascinating, right? So it's interesting how these kind of use cases are going to become more and more a thing. I would encourage you very highly to go check it out. And also, by the way, you should go check out if you go to hopefully Spotify. There's a couple of recent episodes that we released um, on the on the Amplify AI podcast. Oh, I'm not logged in. Oh, there it is. It's not actually that. That's the one you're looking for. And there's these two recent episodes with Billiana Barker. It's only like 12 minutes, and but both are 12 minutes roughly. And we talk about really interesting things on these both these podcasts on how AI is being used in healthcare. So I would encourage you to go check that out. So that's the news. I want to get into Groq because I think this is something that you should all check out. It's free. Um, hopefully all my stuff. Yeah, of course, all this stuff has to go and be shown live. Anyway, Groq.com. Again, it's free. I'm not paid anything, but it is ridiculously fast. And what I want to show you here is it is an independent sort of website, but it uses something called LPUs versus GPUs, which makes it super fast. And you can use any of these models. So it's how when you open ChatGPT, for example, you're only using GPT-4 or GPT 3.5, which is built by OpenAI. Llama 2 is built by Meta, which is a Facebook, and these are both open source models, which continuously keep getting upgraded. So to give you an idea, what these mean here is Llama 70B means the model is trained on 70 billion parameters. And it's got a context size of about 4,096 tokens. So about 3,200 words, 2,500 words maybe. And to give you an idea, so the size of what it remembers every time you put in a prompt or multiple prompts is about 3,000 words. Now, Mixtral, on the other hand, is trained on 7 billion parameters, or 8 times 7 billion parameters, and which is slightly lower than that in terms of training data size, but it has a higher context window, so it does more. So if you want to give it more data in your prompt, then you use a higher context context sized model. And if you want to use Llama 2, then you can use Llama 2. But I want to show you this LPU and how quickly this does something, right? So yesterday, let me go back to what we did yesterday, right? So yesterday we ran this prompt in ChatGPT, and what I want to show you is maybe both of these prompts running side by side. So I will pull this out, and hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you how this prompt will work on both sides. So yesterday we did this prompt on analyzing your audience. And again, if you want any other stuff, just DM me. I'm happy to share it. So I'll start a new ChatGPT window, and I will paste this prompt in here, and I will paste this prompt in here in Groq. Okay, Groq.com. So let me hit this first and go send message, and then I'm gonna go send message. Now I wanted I wanted to see how quickly this finishes. That was it literally took 3.4 seconds, and ChatGPT is still producing this output, which is interesting because what I asked for as well is not what it gave me. Because in ChatGPT 4 here, for example, like yesterday, I think it must be down because some of this stuff is not coming up. So I think ChatGPT must be not functioning properly, because I asked for 5 elements in each and it didn't really do that, while yesterday it did that properly. That's another thing to remember. A lot of the times when you're giving, AI some instructions, it doesn't mean like it's going to get it right the first time. That's why human intervention is so important. But I wanted to see the difference in speed, okay, and I wanted to see the difference in how quickly this is done. So it actually got the whole thing correct, and it gave me 5. So audience pain points, inefficiency. So what I'm asking for it is, like, I run a coaching and training community for business owners and leaders to use AI ethically to grow revenue, brand, audience, and operations, right? So I'm giving it that context, and I'm like, can you please brainstorm with me my audience? So it's done a bunch of things, which is audience pain points. Give me 5 audience pain points, and it's given me the main one. It's lack of expertise. Of course, everyone is an AI expert today who's played on ChatGPT. It's just like how initially at some point there were social media experts who just had a Facebook account, or podcasters who had their own podcast and just decided to be create podcasts for others. And I'm probably in that boat as well. So but making sure that you get the expertise from the right people is probably something that I would just encourage everyone, whether you're watching the replay or you're watching this live. And I know this is being streamed hopefully to all different platforms because it is, and sometimes it doesn't go to all the platforms, but I know it's on LinkedIn and Instagram as well. But anyways, you see how fast that is and how fast Groq did. So anyway, it's free, Groq.com. Go check that out. What I want to do right now is get into this tactic, which is how podcasters can use AI to optimize titles, descriptions, and show notes for search engines and to grow audience. So firstly, I want to say a bunch of things. Now, I've been in the podcasting game for a long time, right? Actually, one of the things that I didn't want to do is go from being the podcast guy to being the AI guy. And very reluctantly, I decided to be the AI guy, because before I was a podcast guy, I was the computer science guy, the software engineering guy that kind of had a whole career in programming, in building, in doing really cool things with software and hardware. In fact, my first job after my master's degree here in Brisbane was doing software testing for a company that allowed that they were creating software and hardware for tractors to wake up in the morning, plow the field, and sort of come back and park itself using auto guidance and GPS. And now that's in cars, which is quite frequent. So today, so podcasting is huge, and I've built a lot of really cool connections, and podcasting has changed my whole world, and it will continue to, and nothing stops. That's why even me doing this, I've normally done interview style shows, so me doing these solo ones live is nerve-wracking for me, actually, if I'm honest about it. But it's something that I'm learning. These are the reps that I'm putting in. I'm learning to do, and I understand that it will take time, and I understand it'll take time to even keep a live audience engaged. But So today it's all about being found. You create all this audience and you create all this work and you create all this content, and how do you get found? And it's extremely hard because there's so much of different things out there. Now let me hopefully increase this text. So the idea here is that we want to make sure that when your visibility is not reduced in search results, and to make sure that your new listeners discover your podcast. We want to make sure that you're not missing out on organic traffic, and you're not failing to communicate the value and relevance of your episodes to potential listeners. And we'll do all that today, like live, right? And I want to show you actually how long it would normally take, and because we do this. And if you don't know how to apply AI, it takes so long to complete. Anyway, the idea is here to be found in search, and be discovered and improve in search rankings, get increased organic traffic, and be better in communicating the value of your episode. So there are these 5 steps that I think we can follow, and we can do it really well, and we can do it quickly. One of the things that I wanted to mention just before we get into the steps is just to avoid these 3 things, which is keyword stuffing, or using irrelevant keywords that don't match your content. Like, don't do that, because now there's, obviously it's AI, so there's things to detect all these kind of things. Neglecting to update or optimize older episodes descriptions. So now that I'm teaching you this, you can go back, if you've had a podcast for a while, especially, and optimize the episode descriptions and the show notes. Learning what you did down, you can do it at speed using AI. And also don't write vague and misleading or over lengthy titles and descriptions. Okay, so let's start with researching relevant keywords for your podcast topic. Okay, now let me hopefully share. Open one of my many tabs. So RightFlow, this is one of the AI programs that I wrote. It's got, I don't know, it's got about 3,000 lines of code, maybe something like that, just under. And it does amazing things. So it can do ideation, content, SEO, email, social strategy. But I'm looking for SEO and doing keyword research. So let me give you an example, right? So we are podcast, which is a very specific type of service that we offer, which is streamlined production. It's cost effective. We have a business owner that a podcast host that submits an episode or recording, and we do the editing, repurposing, and publishing. And it's all done. So basically you just do the recording and we do the rest. So I want to get some keywords for this, and I've done this before, but I'll show how it works here. Under RightFlow, I select that and I go into SEO and I say do some keyword research, and I'll show you what it did yesterday. It kind of said, well, these are some keyword clusters, and if you were going to create a title, like an article on that title, then here are some titles that you can do along with meta descriptions. Now, the reason for running something like this, and you can obviously run this in if you have a good prompt, you can run this in any AI model, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or any one of these. So I just ran this right now, and I'll show you what it did. Every time it runs, it obviously will give you different results, depending on that particular run. But it did give us similar results. So it gave us a bunch of keywords here. What I want to do is show you that I have some show notes from a recent episode that I did. Okay, so hopefully this opens up. So this is a PDF of an edited conversation that I had, episode 355 of We Are Podcast. This is the episode edited. It's already been edited and reduce down to, however, I think less than 30 minutes. Oh no, well, more than 30 minutes. And it's been transcribed. Okay, so I have a transcription here. It's a PDF, and it's transcribed. And I know that, first of all, there's a couple of reasons for that particular picking that particular episode. First of all, it's one of the latest ones. Secondly, Charles is a client, and he talks about how he uses our podcast production services. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this as my, say I want streamlined production services for podcasts, but I have I need to create these show notes and a title and description and all these things for this transcript that I just have. So I'm going to go into Claude AI and I'm going to open a new chat, but I'm going to upload this PDF into the chat, and I'm going to say, I have a prompt that I made up yesterday. So show notes. So I wrote this yesterday, so not to like take up time while I'm writing the prompt here. And this is the prompt, and I'm saying, here, this is my PDF. It's my transcript of the podcast. I want you to help me write show notes for this episode, and I have a certain structure that I want you to follow while you're doing it. So you remember when we were talking, while this is generating, I want to show you why that is important, because when we're talking about the different steps, right, we're talking about here how you want to write compelling, clear, and concise titles and descriptions that accurately reflect the episode content. So that's what we're doing right now. We first researched a bunch of keywords using WriteFlow, which again you can use any AI tool to research keywords at speed today, which would take a whole bunch of time. But it kind of generated my show notes extremely well. But what it's not done is it has not incorporated this keyword that I asked for. So I'm going to copy this keyword and I'm going to say, this is amazing. Can you keep the intent and content the same and see if you can incorporate this keyword in the show notes? Do not overuse it. Make it relevant. Make the show notes searchable for this keyword and optimize as well. Obviously, there's better ways to write that, but I'm doing that on the go. But I want you to understand what I've done. So I first used a prompt and said, break down the topics. This is the way I want you to write my show notes. This is my tone. That I want you to highlight the guest and who he is, what he's been doing. It's really interesting because he talks about how he's a terrible podcaster. So it's picked that up and even put that in the top and given me 10 takeaways of what's happening. What we cover in the conversation. Okay, so then it's done this for optimized under his belt and streamlined production of his podcast. So see how it's added these now in here. All right, so this is great. So it's got now this is amazing. Can you now help me title this episode? Make sure it isn't too too long, but it helps the reader want to listen to the episode, and the title is also keyword optimized. Make a list of 7 to 10 options and pick the best one. Think this through step by step and give me your reasoning. So what I wanted to do is not just give me one answer. I wanted to go through this brainstorm process, which it's doing. See, and it's kind of okay. These are 7 to 10 ideas for what the title should be, and here is the analysis of each title, and it's going to pick the favorite one. So it's giving an analysis of each one of the title, and then it's going, okay, podcasting mastery, streamlined production, and business growth secrets. And that if someone's looking for streamlined production, this will start. For streamlined podcast production, it'll start ranking. Now you see how this can be done at speed, right? Now what we've done, and how long would it normally take to do this kind of research? I recently, I don't know where it is, I wonder where I did that research. It's really fascinating because I asked it to, if I had to do this without AI, how long would it take? And I can't remember where, but it was like it would take about, on a low end, $800 to $3,000 per episode, and it would take between 5 and 12 hours a week to do all this if you had to do it manually, which is insane because again, we've not done it to this extent, but to do it at that speed is kind of crazy. So you see what happened, right? So now you have your podcast show notes title in a way that communicates your episode really well, and then but it also does it by optimizing it for a particular keyword that you want to get found for. So making sure that you're doing all that, and again, go and check out this episode. It is a bunch of ways that other business owners have used AI in their business, and you might get some ideas on how that might work. Also, go check out the podcast. I've got a list of things to do, which I never really finished, but it's just a reminder for me to make sure that you go and check out the podcast. Amplify AI is where you go to get that. Thank you for everyone that has been here. There's been a few of you on the different platforms. You can see the number of people that are live here, or if you're watching the replay as well. But all these episodes and some really cool ones as well. There's over 75 episodes of Amplify AI on YouTube, on Spotify. They're all edited. They're all short, and they all hopefully deliver an outcome that you can use and some inspiration in your journey to use AI. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about artificial intelligence. I think it's going to be the biggest conversation of our lifetime, and our job as business owners and leaders is to use it in a way that reduces human cognitive load but increases creativity and collaboration and courage. Because some of the things that we don't do, which takes a lot of courage, we resign that to, I didn't know how to do that, or I could not get that done. And now there's no excuses for those things. So you can actually outsource that to artificial intelligence and have more courage to do the things that you really feel like you should be doing. And every business owner, every entrepreneur, every business leader knows that they have a list of things that they should be doing but isn't. Very few of us are exempt from that. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Check out the podcast. Until next time.